Before we do talk about the sort of defensive numbers and stuff, obviously we've been talking about Ryan Gravenberch every single week, Steve. But you're obviously in today. We've not really spoken too much about Gravenberch with you. What the hell have we got here? So and why didn't he do this last? No, I'm not asked about last season. What have we got here?
You've got this kind of new fangled base of your midfield, because you're seeing it with Rodri, you're seeing it with Rice when they get forward and get into other positions as well, and there's times Gravenberch's been at right wing winning the ball back, so it's not a six in its truest form, but it is a guy that's sitting at the base of your midfield controlling the game. He's got one of the best first touches I've ever seen. And the thing is, he gets the ball, it comes into him, he's on the move with the ball, he manipulates the ball, he creates himself a yard, and if he needs to pop it off, he'll pop it off. If he needs to put his body between the man and the ball and carry, he'll do that. He's got loads and loads of the attributes you'd need to sit in there and be like, conduct the whole game. The one thing I haven't seen, and I don't know whether he's going to need it, is I said months ago, does he have the dog in him for a roll up the sleeves and have a fight with someone? When you're that clever at football and you've got that much appreciation of where you want the ball and where to ask for the ball to be played to, then let's have it where he can use it. And his awareness of his teammates, his appreciation of when he's about to be challenged. I think football's evolved and moved on now. It's no longer a Fabinho type of six role. Doesn't exist anymore, where he just basically went left and right and put out fires and shut up shop. This guy's got more attributes to his game. He's got more strings to his bow, for want of a cliched expression. He's got it all. He's creative. He's big. I've seen him win headers, which you don't see very often. It's not something you'd sort of look at and say he's great in the air, isn't he? The Klopp said when he came, this guy's ridiculous in tight spaces. So to be playing facing your back four, taking the ball, getting it out of your feet and popping it off between the lines to get things moving forward. It's really exciting to see, because I don't know where his ceiling is. Nobody does. How far, where can we go with this? This guy could end up being the best at what he does. He's literally got everything in his locker, and it's going well for him at the moment. I think one of the big tests, and it's being like really for the benefit of this conversation, is when it's not going well for him, how does he dig himself out of that? Because at the moment he's just strolling around enjoying himself, and his football is sensational. His line breaking passes is really good, but the key to it all for him is he's got a first touch in that area at the base of midfield, which you don't see anywhere else. Rodri hasn't got it. Rodri's got a different set of attributes. That first touch is ridiculous. I hasten and I'm reluctant to say it, but it's a Berbatov type first touch, where basically get it down, get it shifted, get it gone, and he never looks like he's going to lose the ball when he's doing it.
Who does he remind you of, Chloe? Because we have to do this with former players or players and former professional footballers.
I really don't want to say it, but I say it in French midfielder.
Pogba?
Yeah.
Because I get strong Yaya vibes, and a lot of people in the chat do as well.
Yeah.
But it's more than just Yaya.
Paul Pogba had the swivel on the ball.
Yes, he had a lot of that. I struggle with the Yaya thing because of the goals.
Yeah.
Doesn't score anywhere, doesn't score the goals.
But nor did Yaya to begin with.
No, he didn't.
He grew into that role.
Yeah, you're right.
Centre back at Barca, how many times?
How many goals did he score against us in that season?
The Finnish version of Yaya scored
the Finnish version.
Goals. I think Gravenberch can score goals, by the way, for what it's worth. He definitely did during the Ajax days. I think I'm right in saying some stunners alongside it as well. He can definitely let fly from range, but I think probably the Pogba comparison is the one I'm drawn to most. And the best
manipulation, the manipulation.
Yeah, and just the way he carried the ball as well. He's graceful as well. He eats up ground like nobody's business. It's just fine. And he's similar in stature as well. So I think obviously whenever anyone says Paul Pogba, people immediately turn their nose up and go, oh.
The Juve version of Paul Pogba
was.
But he had Marquisio and Pirlo behind him, and no defensive responsibilities at all.
So he had that freedom.
Stick him in Man United and say, actually, don't allow that man to run off your grave soon, this will destroy you. It was too much for him, wasn't it?
That's where Gravenberch probably has got the edge in him, and that's where I had my doubts, reservations, to be honest with you, and I've said this all summer long, because the six is different now, as you alluded to there. It's not the Fabinho type six as it once was, but I did wonder whether he had that defensive side of his game, not so much in winning his tackles or winning his duels, because clearly he does, but that appreciation and that second nature of thinking, I need to be there, because that's where so much of his football has been of an attacking nature. It felt like he wanted that freedom to go and play the way he wanted, but clearly he's more than happy to take on instructions and do a little bit of that legwork, if you like, for the team. And, oh, mate, just once again a joy to watch, and another sort of hurdle leapt for me in Ryan Gravenberch's season so far as well, because I think it's one thing playing well when Liverpool playing well and sort of working as a well-oiled machine, but when Liverpool aren't at it and you can still put in a performance of that quality at that age, that says something completely different to me. So yeah, brilliant once again.
And Chloe, in the ground, what was he like? Because obviously he was man of the match, he showed up on the telly. Was he your man of the match from in the ground?
I thought he got better as the game went on, and when actually there's more spaces, but specifically in the second half there was a couple of times where he gives a give and go with Cody Gakpo, and I think it leads to a Curtis shot, and it's a really good save by Sam Johnston. But on the half turn, look, the first half I don't think we had a lot of the ball, and maybe the stats say otherwise, but from in the ground it just felt like we didn't have a lot.
You're right.
In the second half we did, and when you could get him on the half turn, you could give him the pass and say, you turn on that and you take it, he was sensational. And that one where he's so unlucky to not get an assist, where he just leaves about 4 players for dead, he shimmies inside, and his pace and the way he covers the ground is incredible. But I just thought, once again, you mentioned there, when Liverpool aren't playing well, he's managed to improve in the game. AC Milan was another one. Liverpool started really poorly, and then as the game got, I mean, Ryan Gravenberch didn't start great in that game either, but as the game goes on, he has more confidence in himself. He grows into the game. It's like for the first couple of minutes he's just analysing and learning where his position needs to be in a lot of the moments, and he's just seeing their positioning of their midfield, and then he grows on it, and then he understands, well, I can get a half yard here, I can go past them there, they're pushing that side, so there's space there to drive into. And I thought in the second half, I thought he was absolutely brilliant on that half turn in and around the area. And obviously his defensive work is like, last season, if, you know, like you mentioned earlier, if I was thinking, oh my God, Ryan Gravenberch has got to track back against, you know, maybe a Brighton or someone, I'd have thought, oh, will he be, you know, really concentrated, will he do it? Where now in 1v1 situations where I know that they might have a counter, I just know that Ryan Gravenberch is going to be in and around there sniffing out the danger, because he's proved that so far this season.
A lot of that's to do with the thing that Slot keeps saying. We have players now who are ready to react to the situations they find themselves in. So I think they're going through a lot of what ifs. What if it breaks down here? Where do you need to be? What if it breaks down there? Where do you need to be? And I think that point you made there about playing against Brighton and people thinking, God, they're going to run off Gravenberch all day long. What's going on behind him's different too. They're not taking the risks. That thing that Klopp used to say is be brave. We might have overdone that at times, and it's to the detriment of the structure and the shape of the team. And Slot is obsessed with our structure and the other team structures and how they build up. So I think these lads are spending a lot of time doing situational training about where you want to be. That's really interesting, the point you made, where he's having a look at what's going on in front of him, where's the dangers coming from. But unfortunately, everyone else seems to be doing that, and we find ourselves starting slowly. But maybe we have to find a way to stop that from happening, and the people around him, let him do that. Let him figure out what he needs to do in covering in that midfield. So situational stuff, we are so much better at than we were before.
There was a point, right, and this is stupid, don't get me wrong, and I know it's stupid, but there was a point where I was thinking, if they have the ball in the first 20 minutes, then they can't Nottingham Forest you.
Because the approach is different.
Because they just end up getting the ball, and you're like, oh, now we have to play. And I was thinking in the first sort of, I think I said it during the watch along in the first 5, I was like, this might not be bad for us, because you might just get on the ball. Whereas if you start in that first 5 minutes, you dominate the side, and they just go, right then, here we go, we've talked about this all week, this is exactly what we're going to do. It's what Chelsea did to us in 13-14, isn't it? Where they just gave us the ball and went, go on, boo, you can't, you've got the ball. Whereas that's when City came the week before, we were just booing like crazy, and the atmosphere was mad. I don't think that was the approach. I just think it was a happy little coincidence that might have shifted it a point or two.